Hello there folks, I'm Flatteractomy. This is another video of my map NS2 Caged, a remake of the original natural selection level. I've made a couple changes since last time. Not huge ones, as you can tell everything is still grey. There's been no detail work done whatsoever except for placing some props to block lines of sight and such here and there. Right now, all I'm focusing on is the layout and what I should be changing compared to the original map. Unfortunately, changes will have to be made, and you're just going to have to accept that. So let's go into the game, and I'll show you all the things that have changed since the last video. Here we are at Upper Sewer. This used to be a small, narrow pipe. And this used to be a small alcove in which that resource nozzle was. I made it a little bigger. It's still not really what it should be, but for playtesting purposes, it's sufficient. People can get around it. They can shoot the skulk at the back without endangering themselves too much. This area still has quite a big problem. The Marines can just sit here, and anything coming through will die. That's the disadvantage of making that pipe bigger. The advantage is that it just doesn't just house one Onos and that's it. More aliens can move through it at once, but I think I'm gonna have to use some vents and maybe some more ways to obscure who's coming through. As you can notice, this used to be here, and now it's here. Made a little S-shaped corridor here leading into the new sewer hive. Oh, look at that. It's a little different from before, but still kind of true to the original, I think. It's a little bigger. You can get horribly stuck on these things, but that's just a matter of adding some collision geometry. This now goes down instead of up, and it seems to work quite well. And this has not changed at all. Except for the pipe. The pipe is brown now instead of yellow. But I'm sure that's not really interesting. So this is the ventilation hive, which has been made a little bigger here. Stretch this area out here. And this is where the resource node used to be. But because I couldn't place cysts from the hive along this ramp towards the resource node, probably because of a line of sight error. I think the hive has to be able to see the cysts leading to the resource node. I had to change things around a bit. Put the power node up here and put the resource node down there. Sort of change their positions. It works for now, it's not ideal. I'm expecting this hive chamber to change quite a bit as I start fixing layout errors. These vents, this one there, and that one over there, those are horrible. Those will have to be moved. It's really easy to take this hive down if you're a jetpacker with a grenade launcher. I've seen it in playtest, and it's not fun. Next up is auxiliary generator, where I moved the power node and the resource node. Resource node used to be back there, blocking anything that's trying to cross on that side, so I put it in its old original position, or at least the one I remember from NS1, and put the power node up here, because you don't want those next to each other. This hallway that people seem to love quite a lot, I called it that one hallway. It needed to be its own location. You can see on the minimap here. I couldn't come up with a name, so for now, it's that one hallway. Right now we are in stability monitoring, or what used to be stability monitoring. This is now just monitoring. There are no monitors yet, but there might be at some point. The resource node is still in the same place as is the power node. I simply split it off from the other half of stability monitoring originally, and named that stability, while this was monitoring. Stability is pretty different. Don't be shocked. This is what it's become. This is temporary, as is this, as is that. That just supplies some cover to the people testing the map. This is all a vague idea of how I want to make this room look. I just put in some props to fill it up. It seems to work quite well. There's been a lot of combat on during the playtest here. I suppose that's because the aliens had generator hive, and this is where combat would happen, but I think there were some good fights. Next up, central processing. Oh no, the resource node is gone, but there are two in its place. It's a double res node location now. Didn't really see the action in here that I was hoping to see in the playtest, but that was just one epic 1 hour game. So I can't really tell yet, especially since, you know, it wasn't just ventilation and marine start, there was generator hive. It was hard to say if this location is just going to be taken by one team and everybody forgets about it. Might become a tech point. Tech point would be cool if I connect central processing in its northeastern corner, that you can see over there, to the corridor between monitoring and stability, however, then basically you get the same layout that Summit has. And I think everyone will agree that Summit is a very, very good natural selection 2 map. So it might actually work. I'm not sure if I would do the random start locations, because the lore of Caged, if you will, mentions that it's a team of Marines entering the space station, or spaceship I should say, and you know, encountering aliens. But for gameplay purposes, I might make things random start locations. It would make for a lot of fun testing, certainly. I think that corridor between central processing and stability will happen. Probably in the next release. But I might still consider other things instead. Everything's up in the air. Alright, that was my little run through of the location changes. There are some smaller minor changes here and there that I won't look at because they're not important. And now I will take you to some spectator footage of the playtest. Unfortunately, not the greatest footage, because I was busy answering people in the chat and in Steam friends who were asking questions and giving suggestions, which does not make for good game footage. So there's just a little bit of footage with some fights and the hives getting taken down that I wanted to show you guys. Of course, just some music. So I hope to get another video out for the next version, but until then, thank you for watching and take care.